Well, St. Columba's looking very well for his age, isn't he? Yeah? Just shows you what can be done if you have faith in Jesus Christ. Well, again, welcome to this launch of Christians for Independence. This is our official launch. Although Christians for Independence was formed back in 2009, long before the SNP had a majority government and long before we had the referendum that we are now all campaigning in. It was a small group of SNP members, and we started off basically by having services at our two conferences each year on the Sunday mornings, which saved us having to go and find local churches, although that in itself was nice to do as well. And the other thing we're doing today is launching our initiative, Faith in Scotland's Future. And this is something that we are going to develop over the next 7 months. We're going to try to engage with Christians across all of Scotland, with all the churches across all the denominations. And it's really important, I think, that we do that because Christians form a very large part of our society, and the Christian voice needs to be heard. There are around 500,000 Christians go to church every Sunday morning. 500,000. That's more than 10 times the number of people that go to the Premiership football on a Saturday. Those voices deserve to be heard and need to be heard. We'll be starting off with meetings in the 5 main cities, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Dundee, Aberdeen and Inverness, to give us a good spread across Scotland. And we want to hear about the hopes and the fears, the aspirations and the questions of Christians all over Scotland. And we'll be embarking on that really from today. This is the first morning of the first day of the conversation that Christians for Independence is going to have with Christians across Scotland. St. Columba put it very well, I think, in terms of stating what is Christianity, what have Christians ever done for Scotland. And if you think about what Christians do day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out in their local communities, you might be really surprised. The trouble is that often we as Christians don't boast about it. And of course we shouldn't boast. But at the same time, we shouldn't be hiding our light under a bushel either. Christians are involved in credit unions and community councils, in food banks, and in a whole host of other things, youth organisations, like the Cubs and the Scouts and the BBs and so on and so forth. Christians are leaders in many ways in their communities in terms of being involved on a day-to-day basis. Probably a far higher percentage of Christians get involved in the local communities than society at large. Therefore, Christians contribute a lot to our society. So it's right that Christians, the Christian voice, is given the respect of being heard in this referendum debate. A debate that will change Scotland's future, whichever way the result goes. Now, obviously, Christians for Independence, we hope that the result will be a yes vote. And the reason for that is that we firmly believe that a yes vote will allow us, as Dennis Canavan said, to create a fairer, more socially just society. And if you think about what Jesus Christ said to us, and of course Jesus Christ is the touchstone for Christians, he said we should love our neighbours as we love ourselves. Just think what a difference to the world if people actually adopted that saying and put it into practice. If everybody loved their neighbours, loved others and did for others just as much as they love themselves. It's also a fact that in the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus told us, or said, and posed the question, I was hungry, when did you feed me? I was thirsty, When did you give me a drink? I was naked. When did you clothe me? These are things that Christians need to do to follow the teaching of Jesus, to clothe, to feed, to give drink to people. That all drives us towards a socially just society. A number of years ago, the Bible Society, I think it was, gave a Bible to every single MSP, and it was the Poverty and Justice Bible. And it's a Bible where all of the different parts of it are highlighted, all of those parts that relate to poverty and justice. And it is absolutely jam-packed with highlights right through the whole Bible, the Old Testament and the New Testament, about the need to deal with poverty and ensure justice. So that's sort of what we're about as Christians for Independence. We'll be launching our Faith in Scotland's Future discussions with the churches. As we leave this meeting today, we have a meeting tomorrow, we'll be developing where we go with this. And I would just like to thank everyone who's been involved in the launch this morning. And we're happy to discuss and take questions or whatever later on. Okay, thank you.